Today is West Wednesday. All right. This is to bring everybody on board to know what I'm talking about. I put a toilet in front of the Towson courthouse because I was making a documentary about the prison industry, solitary confinement, bail bondsmen, and the money that's made in the prison industry. And I was showing the role that the media plays in misinformation, mainly WJZ, the Baltimore Sun, things of that nature. I was showing that blacks have no rights in which white America has to respect. And I put it all on film. It was a documentary and a movie. I wanted to show the prison industry from the inside out. So I went to jail in Illinois for 186 days, and I went to jail in Maryland for 85 days. But the videotapes that I had were in both states, and the property was there. My testimony says that I was doing a movie. It was called Dred Scott. Blacks have no rights in America, which America respects. It's American justice, and it is just us. 2014, I ran for office with Brian Vaith as a black Republican because I wanted to show you that we had the right to run for office, to vote, that blacks just aren't destined to jail and the penitentiary. All right? I practice what I preach. This is the state of Illinois. This is the state of Maryland. I spent 186 days in Illinois, and I spent 85 in Maryland. I was kidnapped in both states. All right? State of Maryland versus Dwayne Davis. 2/7/2011. That's a court order ordering my property be returned. And the property was my intellectual property covered under the Constitution. That's Judge Turnbull. All right? And the movie was about Governor O'Malley. All right? It was about the Democratic Party in the state of Maryland and the prison industry and mass incarceration. And on there you can see Governor O'Malley, Schellenberger, TV1, 92Q, CNN, Governor Ehrlich. This is Shorty's voice. All right? ABC2 News, NAACP. And if you go to Shorty's voice, all the videos are there. The first 5 videos shows everything that I intended. It showed court, it showed jail, it showed everything. And on this toilet, that's Kathleen Hughes from 92Q that owns Radio 1. That's Marion Barry, because like I said, I cater for y'all, I work for y'all, I cook for y'all, y'all eat off my plate. That's the Baltimore Ravens, all right? Like I say, Ray Lewis know me, Ray Rice know me. I've been here since Ted Marchibroda was the coach. That's how long I've been working with the Ravens. Ozzie Newsome know me. This is the state of Illinois versus Dwayne Davis. I was kidnapped on the 24th of December in 2007. And this paperwork right here is a court order to return my property. All right? To be returned. And if you'd have gave me this property in 2010 like you was supposed to, you wouldn't have locked me up in 2011 because it was exposing Governor O'Malley and the corruption here in the state of Maryland. I used the film and the camera, and that was it. I am Dred Scott. The movie was Dred Scott. It was Judgment Day. I showed you how you use the 13th Amendment to re-enslave black people in America. That's all I was doing. Blacks have no rights in which white people have to respect. Blacks was not citizens and therefore had no right to sue. So we can't sue for our freedom. That's the email. And that email is from 2009, November the 3rd, 2009. And on that email, it has the Maryland Black Caucus. It has the FBI. It has Senator Cardin. It has Jerome Stevens. It has Ed Norris. It has Police Officer James Moses. All right? The email says Schellenberger should have done this in 2008. Federal and state violations. Bank of America. All right? So Schellenberger locked me up to cover up this crime, to whom it may concern. This is May of 2008. I was still locked up in the state of Illinois. I didn't get out till June of 2008. So they filed false papers with the court. They knowingly filed false papers with the court. And I asked for an audit. Blacks have no rights in America, which white America has to respect. All right? That's Sheriff Fisher, 2010. All right? You know I'm personally permitted the re-election, the sign of my property on Falls Road. Federal and state violations. All right, that's notarized. Convict lawyers' confessions coerced. I showed you that you coerce confessions from inmates. It's the art of getting money in your prison industry. And I proved it when you took me to court, the state of Maryland. I beat you in court, and I used this to do it. I used toilets to do it. And my lawyer refused to play these tapes in court. That's the enemy of my enemy. Like I said, I've been making movies and documentary. That's legal. That's my intellectual property. That's Governor O'Malley in the prison industry. That's what I spent the time in Baltimore County Detention Center for. Congressman Cummings, Sarbanes, Rupersberger, Mikulski, Edwards, the Maryland Black Caucus, all got this. And it breaks you down. It names your names. That's the truth about the toilet from 2011. All right? Occupy the toilet. Because I'm going to use toilets to get my message out. I'm going to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And I'm doing it in such an artistic way. And I'm going to do it in a legal way, too. That's the United States Supreme Court. I'm approaching the Supreme Court for my property. That's the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, Governor Hogan, Judge Cox, Rod Rosenstein. That's the Judge Cox. And that's going to be the Governor Hogan. Governor Hogan, Brian Foss, Senator Miller, and House Delegate Bush. Because I've asked for y'all to represent me, to give me access to the grand jury. If you don't give me access to the grand jury for my case, then I'm going to go to the Supreme Court with my case. And I'm going to send this information to the Supreme Court. This is evidence, the evidence that you refuse to play. I got this from court, and you can check my court records with Judge Souter, Judge Rossetti, Judge Bridges, Judge Foreman, State's Attorney Nyham, State's Attorney Ken LaRue, State's Attorney Mosby. You can get all this from them because I got evidence. I got it on film. I videotaped everything. And we're going to go from this case from 2010, before I got locked up, this court record. These are my transcripts. We're going to submit them as is. Like I said, we're going straight to the Supreme Court with this. State of Maryland versus Dwayne Davis. Unless you give me my property back, give me access to the grand jury, we're going to talk about this. Because like I said, this is about our government. This is about our mass incarceration in our prison industry and your relationships with your political corruption in the courts. I am Dred Scott, and I'm submitting this directly to the Supreme Court. We're going to talk about Lake County, Illinois. We're going to talk about them papers in my hand. We're going to talk about the people that support Shorty. Pages of it. Like I said, pages of it. And we're going to talk about when I submitted my evidence. Remember that. I practice what I preach. I am Dred Scott. We're going to see you in court.